Welcome to this special edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience, episode 12 of our knockout series, as we take a look back at all the greatest knockouts in UCE history. In your main event tonight, we got a guy that is a legend in UCE, Bryan Yamasaki. Dr. Sick going up against Adam Writing. You definitely want to stick around for that. But before we get to that, Jeff Moody, Tuiaki, guys of that, you're going to see some big boys going down here. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience, KO edition. Check it out. Start things off with a couple of big guys. Now, Tuiaki really made an impact in the Ultimate Combat. His opponent, Travis Chafin, really didn't. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right, I'll go ahead and apologize now, Johnny Rich. You should make fun of a guy's name, but it was just too easy. It was out there.
Just too easy, especially with Junior Selu, Chafing. That's great. It worked out perfect.
Well, the Colorado Kid, as he calls himself, Travis Chafin, came here ready to fight, didn't have an opponent for the reason you just spoke of. And he said, you know, I will fight anytime, any day. I'm 5'10", 220 pounds, and I got to go back and play football soon, so give me as many fights as you can.
Well, it's all about competition for Mike. It doesn't matter what he's doing. He just wants to get in here and compete, and if that means he's got to get in here and beat up the Colorado Kid, that's exactly what he's going to try and do.
Man, I just think people deserve to get the most brutal beatings of their lives, so that's what I believe in, so going for it. Yeah, I've been training over at Bill Petit's school in Grand Junction, Colorado, and I've also been here at Pedro Sayer working on my groundwork here, and I got some really good trainers. Well, for one thing, he has a hard name to say. Another is, I just got a superior mentality and hopefully better strength and speed.
He's definitely a competitor. He talks about doing all these rough sports, though, fighting, football, rugby, and
golf. Golf. What was that about, E?
Yeah, that shows what a competitor he is. Yeah. He likes to do anything that he can compete with you at. He's 5'10", 220 pounds, goes by the nickname of Ogre 6. Johnny, you know where that came from?
Ogre 6? I don't, but I know that he wanted me to give a shout-out to all his crew down in SUU, the football team. Wes Myers, the head coach down there, he wanted me to give a shout-out to those guys.
Well, consider yourself shouted out in.
Last time I fought Tom Black in the cage, and it was a good experience for me, the cage, first time. So just been training hard, man. It's all about training. Today's game day, so practice is over. I mean, it does take a lot of guts, man. I mean, it's easy to sit from the outside and say he sucks or whatever, but I give props to whoever steps in, man. It's a different experience. I just come in because I like competition, whether it's football, rugby, golf, whatever. Competition's my thing, so. Oh, because Utah's better than Colorado.
Well, he says he's got quite a bit of a martial arts background, and he certainly couldn't be in better hands on the ground than Pedro Sauer here. He's got to learn how to say his name.
Say his name right, but he's right. He's the jiu-jitsu guy. Talked about being a jiu-jitsu kid, and he's good on the ground, and we know E is good on his feet.
Wow, there's the contrast of styles once again, and E admittedly has not had much experience on the ground, but he's been a difficult guy to take down because that right there, you got to get through his hands first, and I think that Tuiaki is going to make short work of this one.
Yeah.
7.5 seconds. And, wow.
Travis talked about getting a brutal beating. He said people deserve that.
He's patting Lonnie on the butt there, saying, thanks, great job, had a good time, I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, he just got a brutal beating by E2. Is he even break a sweat, or? No.
You see it in Crush Combat Camp, brought to you by Beehive Bell Bonds, where the national anthem was a lot longer than the fight was. We didn't even have a national anthem.
We didn't have a national anthem. Well, it was longer than that anyway. So Tuiaki, wow. But once again, knocking through the competition, beating people up.
This kid here, Johnny, you got to look at him in Maniac eventually, or somebody along those lines. Tuiaki getting it done in a big way. Next up, Leo Marquez and Brett Haraki. Johnny, that Dirty Sanchez crew has been putting out good fighter after good fighter, but we've seen this Leo Marquez kid fight before. Didn't fare so well, but he's got a lot of heart.
You know, he went up against a pretty tough opponent, Mike, and he did. He tried to stick it out. I think they went all 3 rounds, him and the #1 stunner, and it just turned out to be a fight that it was a little too overwhelming for him. He said the lights, the cameras, and the fact that I was wearing a #1 stunner shirt didn't help out that night.
He wasn't happy about that, Johnny Ritchie, but if you buy us a shirt, we'll wear it, right?
That's what I told him. I said, listen up, Marquez, bring in a Lionheart shirt, we'll sport him.
Because this time Johnny Ritchie not wearing a shirt, so I feel better. I'm ready for it now.
That's the first guy I've ever seen that needed a corner man for his interview. Somebody's feeding him the answers there.
Well, they are a bunch of roughnecks down there, Mike, over at Dirty Sanchez's gym. You know, him and Dave run a pretty rowdy ship over there, and those guys are pretty crazy. But I tell you what, this Brett Haraki kid, if he's anything like his brother, you know he's going to come in here with a lot of heart, Mike, and really lay it on the line.
I'll tell you what, the Harakis definitely have a lot of heart, and pain is nothing to them. You're going to see this kid, not a great interview, but a pretty good fighter.
I've been fighting for a while, you know, just out on the street. So I think that's where my experience is at. So I wanted to bring it to the ring, see what I have.
All right, well, he's going to bring it to the ring tonight, and for once, one of the Haraki brothers actually has a height advantage.
Yeah, he does have a height advantage over Leo Marquez. Leo Marquez isn't a tall guy, but he's willing for a bigger guy like this, Mike. For a bigger guy, he's willing to get in here and he throws pretty good punches, Mike. Pretty straight punches.
What he lacks in stature, he makes up for in heart, as we earlier mentioned. But he does. His boxing actually is pretty good. You see right there, threw a nice double-up jab and was able to get inside on Haraki and wrap him up.
Which might be the place you want to be. I'm not sure. You know, it's hard for me to judge. When you got a guy like Haraki who is a little bit musclier, he is a little bit thicker. Does Marquez want to take him to the ground, Mike, or do you think he should stay up on his feet and try to box it out with this kid?
I'm just trying to figure out if musclier is a word.
Muscly. It's more muscly.
More muscular.
More muscular. Did I say more muscly? Whatever.
That's your $10 word for the day. It's a $10 word for the day. We're here to educate as well as entertain. Johnny Ritchie, and right now, not much entertainment going on in the ring, so we better find something to
figure something out. Yeah. Well, Haraki comes in and says he has street fighting credibility. That's about it. Just says he wants to see if he can test himself, and no better way to do it than to step in here and fight in front of all the viewers at home and the people in the crowd.
That was a big uppercut there, and you could tell that Leo Marquez saw it coming. He was trying to block it, but then took a big knee as well. And Haraki, I think just the strength and power of Haraki is starting now to show, and he's overwhelming Leo Marquez.
Overwhelming a little bit, they step back and they,
oh baby,
man.
There's an overwhelming right hand that I don't think Leo Marquez is going to get up from.
Yeah.
This fight, my friend, is over, and look at the #1 stunner, and they're congratulating his good friend in a great performance. That was a big right hand.
Big right hand, send poor Marquez to the canvas.
It took Junior 3 rounds, took Mr. Haraki about a half a round. You see in your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by Quality Inn, where Brett Haraki made up for the loss last week by Brother Heath, and now the Haraki name is getting to be known as some pretty tough guys. That's it for the big guys for the time being. Brett Haraki getting it done. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some kickboxing. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, we're going to take a look at some kickboxing. Tuiaki, Bryan Anderson going up against Rogelio Bata in a lightweight matchup. For the record, I don't beat the crap out of my kids too often, Johnny.
Why you get me rolling over here, man? I'm ready to tear up. Wow, that was great.
Now, Bryan Anderson, he claims to be a backyard boxing champion, but I guess you got to be a pretty tough fighter if you're going to go by the nickname of Twinkie.
If Twinkie, you either got to be one sloppy fighter or really good, one of the two. But Bryan Anderson did say that. He said, hey, I've boxed, I'm undefeated, I've beat everybody, I'll fight the biggest, baddest guys around town right off the street, and usually I'll knock them out. Well, at 5'10", 155 pounds, says he's dominated the Orem area. What is it about the Orem area? Everybody wants to fight each other.
Well, I like to box, so I thought I'd come try myself here, see how it works out. I train. What I do to train is I set up boxing matches, just off the street people, find as many people, biggest people I can find, just box them, see what goes, what happens. I've never lost, so I'm hoping I'll keep on going right now. So. Maybe I can win. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can actually win. Might as well just try my spot, see where I stand.
John and Richie, what would you think if that guy walked up to you on the street, says, hey, my name's Twinkie, you want to come over to my backyard and box?
I would run the opposite way, Mike. I'd get the hell out of there.
Let's go to Twinkie's place and box.
Box.
Rogelio Bata, they call him Rocky. Now, there's a boxer's name, 5'7", 150 pounds, and this kid's a pretty tough boxer himself.
He is, Mike. Gets in here, always willing to work, goes the extra mile, and has been one tough competitor since he started.
Well, last time I stepped up in the ring, I lost with an armbar. But since then, I've been practicing Jiu Jitsu. But tonight, I'm gonna fight a kickboxing match. So I hope I can put with a good fight. Mike is helping me a lot to let me train in the Ultimate Combat Center training. I've been training, sparring a lot, running, everything, like all the time the same thing. I'm training really hard, for fighting. So I hope I can put with a good fight.
All right, Rogelio. Well, let me tell you, you fight a guy named Twinkie tonight. He looks happy to be here.
He does look happy to be here. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what those backyard boxing's all about, but he is happy to be here, Mike.
I heard they only have pink gloves over there.
Oh, and the special kind of mouth guards, Mike, over there at Twinkie's backyard.
Well, this ain't Twinkie's backyard here, and Rogelio Bata's coming out. Lands a nice leg kick to start things off, but Twinkie actually came back with a couple. Wow, pretty good exchange there, Johnny.
Pretty good exchange right there. This is a fun fight right here, Mike. Both these guys are trading shots. Rogelio, he's not afraid to use his feet either, Mike. Rogelio can kick.
And cream filling coming from
Orem.
Yeah.
From the Orem area.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to grab the leg like that, Johnny, for obvious reasons.
Your head.
You leave your hands down like that, and a guy like Rogelio will make you pay for it.
In the good front. Oh, whoa.
Second time he's done it here. It's not necessarily an illegal technique here, although Dave Seljestad's going to get in here and try to discourage it a little bit. But Rogelio really throwing some hook shots where I've seen in the past he threw more straight punches. I'm not sure why.
I think that kick right there kind of hurt Twinkie a little bit. He kicked him and he's kind of wobbling around a little bit. One thing about Twinkie is he ducks his head every time he throws a punch, and if Rogelio's looking right, he can land a big uppercut and end this thing early.
Right there, Twinkie misses with a big right hand that looked like it had some bad intentions on it. Rogelio doing a pretty good job of peppering those legs, but he drops his hands every time he kicks as well, Johnny.
He does, Mike, he does. And I'm not sure what's going to hurt worse, getting knocked by Twinkie or getting those leg kicks in, so I don't know. But Twinkie looks like he's hurt a little bit.
One of those things that's kind of tough for boxers. When they start kicking, it really takes them out of their boxing game, and you see Rogelio really kind of experiencing that right here. But as you mentioned, it looks like Twinkie might be, oh my goodness, the boxer just kicked a Twinkie in the face.
Oh, I saw it. Did you see cream filling come out of there, Mike? He nailed him. He squished him.
Didn't see that in the backyard in Orem there, but Rogelio really not known for his kicking. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him throw a kick before today, but did a nice job of setting him up with some nice leg kicks and then a big kick to the head. You see in the Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by Mountain High Motorsports. Rogelio, the Twinkie killer.
The Twinkie killer came out, and you saw the end there. He's giving Mickey Porter a hug, and if he's hanging out with Mickey Porter, he's teaching him leg kick, Mike, so you know that.
Oh, man, nice. That was a pretty exciting fight, though, Johnny. That was very action-packed. Both these guys were really getting after it. Early on, Twinkie got kicked in the leg, and it seemed to bother him throughout the rest of the round. And, boy, when the big right leg lands, it's time to say goodnight to Twinkie.
Time to say goodnight, and goodnight he did. Rogelio Bata, man, congratulations. I think this is his first kickboxing match. Comes away the victor. Congratulations.
Rogelio sending the Twinkie back in a box. Rogelio Bata getting it done, knocking the stuffing right out of Twinkie. Next up, we're going to take a look at a guy that we call affectionately Camelbreath, going up against Casey Beckstead. Well, for the second time tonight, we're going to have a kickboxing match, Johnny Ritchie. As you mentioned in the show open, we don't have too many kickboxing matches around here, but we got two of them tonight, Casey Beckstead and Steve Camelbreath in a lightweight matchup.
We've seen Steve Camelbreath before. We haven't seen this Beckstead kid, but Camelbreath has been in the ring. Fought once, he got a little Mac attack. He got beat up pretty bad.
Beckstead goes about 5'9", 138 pounds, training over there with the elite group. Goes by Busta Fatty.
What does that mean, Busta Fatty?
I'm not really sure, but if you're ever on our web forum at ultimatecombat.com, he's Big Busta. This guy gets on there and talks a lot of smack.
I just want to whip some ass or get my ass whipped. Don't really care either way. I play the drums real quick, real fast. I run, I lift weights, I box with people constantly. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm longer, and I'm stronger, and I'm more pissed off.
He's longer and has a fatty.
And
well,
long and strong. Well,
this guy demands attention here. Well, he's going up against Steve Camelbreath, and as we mentioned, he lost in his first match, but it was an NHB matchup. He's willing to go over into the kickboxing arena. He's 5'6", 134 pounds, and goes by Camelbreath. I have to admit, I gave him that name.
Camelbreath. We talk about if you guys don't make nicknames up, Mike Stidham, after a couple drinks, will make a nickname up for you.
Well, the last time I stepped in the ring, I got the Little Mac attack, so I should tell you how quickly the fight ended, but it was a good experience. Don't remember much about the fight just because it was my first time, so that's why I came back, is because I want to be more mentally into it. And I've just been doing the same stuff, so we'll see what happens. I lift weights, I do a lot of cardio. I've been doing it for a long time, so and it wasn't to fight, it was just because I love to do it. Well, I'm not much for predicting fights. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to give him my all. I'm sure he's going to give me his all. So whatever happens, happens.
I got to say, in all seriousness in this, Johnny, this Camelbreath kid is the kind of guy you really like to work with as a promoter. He's willing to do kickboxing, willing to do NHB. Just a super, super nice kid. He really makes doing this show really enjoyable.
He is a really nice guy, Mike. Be getting in the back and talking to a lot of these guys. You see who the guys are that are really have a big heart, and he really does. He just wants to come in here and have fun and fight and make some friends, and that's really what it's all about, I think.
And that's what it is for him. It's just this is an activity for him, and that's cool. He's got a little ways to go on his technique. He's got to work on his boxing a little bit. This looks like Beckstead might be a little too powerful for him, and he's landed a couple big shots already.
But don't count the little guy out. I mean, these guys aren't built a whole lot alike. They look a lot alike physically.
Right. And Camelbreath does say his strong point is his cardio. He's going to be in good shape. Maybe he can outlast and weather this storm here. But boy, it looks like Beckstead is loading those punches up from left field, trying to throw those right punches from across the ring.
But he got caught right there with one, and it sent him back a little bit, and Cameron should have really took advantage of that. But he does have a lot more. It looks like Beckstead does have a little bit more in his arsenal. He's throwing a lot of kicks and really throwing combos, but that might get to him.
This being Beckstead's first fight, he's a little bit stiff out there. You can see he's got some pretty good stuff, but it looks like he got hurt just a little bit there. I'm not sure what from. Maybe a headbutt, maybe the heads went together, and I'm sure it wasn't intentional if it was.
A more skilled fighter would have really went after him at that point. If he would have saw that him wincing like that, he probably would have smelled that blood like the shark and went after him and really got on top of him.
I'll tell you what, and he did have him hurt. He's still a little bit phased from it. You can see that in his eyes. But Camelbreath, as you said, doesn't really have that killer instinct. He's more here for the hobby of it, and maybe as time goes on, he'll develop that.
What do you do like that, Mike? When a guy's throwing those kicks like that towards your leg, what's a good way to defend that? We always hear that raise the knee or lift the leg.
Shin block, baby, shin block. You got to learn that. You certainly don't want to drop your hand down there like he's doing because you're leaving your head exposed, and then he's eating a lot of those on the legs. And boy, this guy is just, Beckstead is throwing these punches from left field. If he knew how to step back and counterpunch, he'd really do some damage.
It seems like he's out of it. It seems like he's really tired. Is it because he's been pressed from the action? I'm not sure, but he looks a little beat, old Beckstead does.
Well, I think he's been busting too many fatties is his problem, and he's breathing pretty hard right here.
Once again, Ethan chewing some butt in there for something. What happened?
Ethan is the perennial butt chewer, and I'm not really sure. Oh, baby, that's a big kick, and he caught Camelbreath on the chin, and Camelbreath shaking it off here, but boy, that was a solid kick landed right on the jaw.
Wow, what do you think?
Well, he's all right. He's all right. He's back in there. We got 1 second left in the round. He's going to catch the break here. He's going to get a minute to recover, but he still does look a little wobbly going to the corner there, John.
Wow, that was a shot, Mike. Well, we talked about it. That Beckstead kid does have an arsenal, and he landed that shot.
It was a bit of a topsy-turvy first round, back and forth action. See you in your Crush Combat Camp, brought to you by TrinLab.com, where it looks like Beckstead did have the advantage throughout most of the round there, but it was a pretty good round.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing more kickboxing matches if they're going to be like this. We only usually have one every couple weeks, but I'd like to see one or two a night if they are like this fight.
Hey, all right, boy, that was a nice kick. It lands right straight on the chin there, and Camelbreath shows his toughness right there, able to battle his way back up to his feet, and honestly, a lot of people, I'm not sure they would have gotten up from that kick.
He got up and he's ready to go. Round two is underway. Let's check this out, see what happens.
Well, Cammy got to bring us round to her, the lovely Cammy. We haven't seen much of her on the TV show, but she's there every week doing her thing. And it looks like, boy, I don't know if this fight's going to go on much beyond this. It doesn't really look like Steve Camelbreath fully regained his composure after that kick. Came out, caught a big right hand, and his legs are wobbly. Johnny, I hate to say it, but I've been there, baby.
Yeah, we all have, Mike. But you know what? He did get up. He made it over to the corner. I was hoping he'd come back out at that minute break and really put it to this Beckstead kid. But what do? You see here in your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by the Old Salt City Jail, the best steakhouse in town. That was a nice right hand. And Beckstead looks like maybe he just might have a shot. He's a tough kid. I can't wait to see him more in the future, Mike.
I can't wait to see him either, Johnny. Casey Beckstead has had his fair share of knockouts and getting it done once again right there. Poor Camelbreath couldn't quite match up to Casey Beckstead. When we come back, you're going to see the very first appearance of Jeff Moody. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, Jeff Moody making his inaugural appearance here in the Ultimate Combat Experience up against Jarret Kelton. Check it out. Well, for clarification purposes, Johnny Ritchie, Jeff Moody actually has been in the ring before. He's a kickboxer. Never done MMA before, but he has had several kickboxing matches, and he's famous for knocking people out and knocking people out in the first round.
He's intimidating, Mike. He scares me a little bit.
You know what, Johnny? He's a social worker.
You're lying.
I'm telling you what, you'd never guess in a million years.
So
the guy's a social worker turned fighter, but he's a hell of a fighter.
He's setting some families straight, I bet.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a powerful fighter. I want to make my shots count. I want every shot to count, and I want to put the hurt on real quick. I want it a lot more than you do. Look in my eyes, I want it.
See, he was trying to hypnotize you right there, Johnny.
Man, I'm telling you what, I follow that guy's rules.
Yeah.
Man, he is, and he talks about power, and to look at the kid and hear the people that he trains with, how explosive that he really is. These guys can't really fully spar with him because he about knocks their head off.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that's kind of the same thing up at that Moody Academy. All those guys are tough. We've not seen Jarret Kelton yet, but we've seen what the Moody Academy has produced, and they're all tough guys.
I've been training pretty hard for the last year, and I just wanted to make sure that I was good to go before I came down. I like my jiu-jitsu, but there's a lot more that comes with it. I'm not going to lose. I'm going to let it all happen right up there in that cage, and we'll see how it goes.
Johnny, this is exciting. We've got a couple of first-timers in a main event, and it looks like both these guys deserve to be here.
Well, look at right there. I mean, look, they're not afraid to Kelton saying, bring it on, and Moody gives him a little shove.
Wow, a little shove there.
It's intense right now. It's intense inside this cage.
You know, Jeff Moody has been scheduled to fight a few times. His opponent has either not shown up or other things have happened, and he's finally here in the ring, finally going to get it going. And wow, he takes a couple shots early on by Jarret Kelton.
And big knees.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Wow, Jarret Kelton. I thought he was going to come out and grapple him. I was just about to say this is a tale of the tape where you got a boxer versus a jiu-jitsu guy, but Kelton came out and surprised me.
Kelton's got some stand-up game, and he was not afraid to use it. Came out here right off the bat and took the fight to Jeff Moody. A lot of people are afraid of Jeff Moody, and you see Jarret Kelton obviously isn't.
He isn't. And right now he's looking for a position, you know, crawling up the body.
Of some sort, yeah.
Not just sitting there being...
He's not hanging out here.
No, not at all.
He wants to finish this kid, and you know, Jeff Moody has been doing some ground himself. He's been working on his ground game. He's a kickboxer turned MMA fighter, but he didn't turn MMA overnight. He started doing some ground quite some time ago.
Sure. And I think that's what he's going to have, Mike, to really advance inside this tournament, because this weight class is pretty stacked. I mean, once you look into the finals, you're going to get a lot of guys in there, Mike, that have been in this fight position before and have the ground game to back it up.
No, absolutely. Kelton, though, doing a nice job looking for arm locks or triangles, really trying to set something up, and Moody's just not giving him anything.
Well, Moody's like a square block, Mike. How do you really get an arm on a guy like that? I mean, he's just powerful. He said it best himself. He just is a powerful kid.
If he didn't have that tattoo, I'd buy ad space on his lats, man. He's got plenty of room there to put what you need, man.
But Kelton, there you go right there. I mean, just keep him busy. These guys are both busy. First timers, who would have thought?
You know what they say about guys that put their name on their back, though?
What?
It's there so when you pull your head out of your... You'll know who you are.
Oh, That's what it is. Okay, I see.
I would never say that to Moody to his
Moody
face.
either, Mike.
I'd say it from far away, though.
Well, and we are far away. Nice. That's the way to go.
Good strategy, huh?
Good
you know what,
strategy.
though, thing about Moody, his arms, people that spar with him, his arms are kind of freaky long. They're deceiving. He can be far away from where you feel you're in a comfortable distance, and he'll reach out and blap you upside your head.
Well, Kelton isn't giving him much room to do that, Mike. He's keeping him schools in pretty tight, not giving him the space that Jeff Moody does need to strike to the body or to the head. But Jeff looks like he's, maybe using the cage to his advantage. I thought maybe he'd crowd him up a bit more against the cage. He hasn't done that yet, but I think he will in time.
He's fighting a little more defensively than I expected to see out of Jeff Moody, and that goes for on his feet as well as on the ground here. Really hasn't opened up, but as we mentioned, he's not making any mistakes either, leaving anything behind.
Well, Mike, and that might be because Jarret Kelton came out and surprised him, came out and landed 3 or 4 shots and really took the fight to Jeff instead of Jeff taking the fight to him.
I'm a little surprised they haven't been stood up, I should say. A little quicker. Well, right there, he made a mistake, and Jarret Kelton almost capitalized on it. Darn near got an arm lock there, and Lonnie Foster's now going to step in and say, let's get you both up on your feet and get going here, guys.
This is what Moody likes to be, crowding, but there's Kelton right there. Wow, I'm going to take it to you.
I got to tell you something. Kelton, man, I was just going to say, you don't want to leave your hands down like that.
He is rocked.
And he was punching and dropping his hands, and you don't want to do that with Jeff Moody because he will make you pay.
Man, he is stoked. Who would have thought, Mike, in the last 2 seconds he gets the knockout?
But look at his hands are down right here, man. Well, that was the start of the fight there.
Where
Jarret Kelton came out on fire and really landed some big shots to start things off, pulled him down into his guard, and really controlled the tempo of the fight till right at the very
right
end.
There. And then he is out, Mike. He was
out before he hit the ground.
Holy
there.
cow, Jeff Moody powered.
That's what Jeff Moody does to people. He knocks people out, man. And he knocked out a pretty tough kid, as we saw here in Jarret Kelton tonight. In his first fight in the Ultimate Combat Experience, Jeff Moody showing why they now call him No Mercy Moody. That guy was tough. When we come back, we're going to take a look at maybe a little bit of a background, and then we're going to show a fight of the legendary Bulldog, Sterling Nitsuma. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, we're going to take a look at one of the guys that I really got to like and know through the show here. And he came from a bit of a troubled past, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Fighting made a big difference in Sterling Nitsuma's life.
I couldn't remember my childhood even if I tried. I fought with my parents. I fought so much that the state removed me when I was 14 years old. I've been in foster homes, about 36 different foster homes, state programs. Counseling, therapy, had to start over a lot of times, 8 different high schools, gotten a lot of school fights, always being the new kid, always having to stick up for myself. I always put myself in a situation of sticking up for the little guy. I was the new kid, I got in a fight, I made friends for sticking up to a bully that picked on people. So that's how my early youthhood, childhood fighting experiences actually started. Then I was released into the adult world and I had to fight to get my life together. I graduated high school and started working in a transitional state of my life when I first came to watch the Ultimate Fighting in Utah.
Sterling Nitsuma, we know absolutely nothing about.
They call him the Bulldog. That's about all we know about him.
He's from LA. He's from LA.
Cali, baby.
He came in tonight. We didn't have a fighter for Brian Garlic. Somebody pulled out of the tournament. This guy stepped up and said, bring him on.
I remember I was drinking in the crowd and one of my friends said that the fighter backed out. So I actually jumped up in the ring and thinking that I was tougher than I really was, needed some training, and then I started training from there. I actually remember the fight. I didn't tap. I didn't even know what ground game was. I just thought it was going to be boxing. It was actually a pretty new thing when it came to Salt Lake City. And after that fight, I remember the end of the interview. I said, I've been drinking quite a bit, and I need to get some training.
I'm not even trained or nothing, man. I've been drinking since 2 o'clock in the afternoon, man.
Are you gonna start training or what?
Yeah, I just wanted to test my skills, man, and obviously I need to train, so I'm gonna train.
Well, it just so happens that I met my trainer that night. His name's Will Bernales, and he took me under his wing, and I started training from there. Took my next couple fights after that. I've been dominating. The only other fight I lost is because I actually lost 10 pounds of weight on the same day. And I was pretty disappointed in myself. You can see it in my interview if you take a look at it.
Sterling, I know you're tired as you've probably ever been right now, and I don't blame you for coming back out because the tank was on empty. What are you feeling right now?
I'm tired.
Tired is probably, you've never been this tired, have you?
Nope. Other than that, I strive to win. I want to win. I'm dedicated to the sport. I dedicate my life to a lot of things. I try to be the best at everything I do. I'm passionate about what I do, I'd have to say that. That's what would probably set me apart from most people. Definitely have character. I'm a walking contradiction. Look at the haircut. I got nipple rings. I don't care. Look at those things. Girls think it's sexy. If girls don't, then I don't care about them. If guys hate on it, that's their problem. It's not my problem. That means they're just hitting on me. They're probably fags anyways. I don't know if I say I would enjoy fighting. I enjoy winning. I enjoy training. Fighting is the dessert. It's a reward for working so hard. It's where my discipline shows. I try to think of myself as a true student of the martial arts. I'm not a bully, not a fighter. I'm a student of the martial arts, always learning, evolving, open-minded. I want to represent the sport in a disciplined, respectful way. I've lost my first fight. I come back. I fight 10 times harder. I've been injured numerous times. My hand, my knee, ACL surgery, broken my hand 2 or 3 times. You don't need to give me a second chance. You know, just give me one chance. That's all I need.
All right, Johnny, don't get upset. We're making fun of your haircut. It's patented Johnny Ritchie stuff.
Patented, you know, I got a good stylist. What do you do?
All right. Cassius Clayton Jackson, a kid we've seen once before. Johnny, didn't work out so well for him, but he's got the right attitude. I mean, he literally just wants to get in and try to avenge that loss, and he wants to get better. At 6'1", 184 pounds, he's in a pretty tough weight class, though.
Well, when you meet kids, you get a good idea of what they're willing to do, and this kid's willing to do it all. If he's got to eat 15 losses, he's going to try to come back for that one win, and hopefully he's going to have what it takes tonight to get that win against Sterling Nitsuma.
First time in the ring, first ring jitters. I can't blame it on that, though. I fought a really good person, William Butcher, and it was a good learning experience, man. He got me on my back and gave it to me good, so there's not much I can do about that, but I've been training really hard on defensive, on the ground a lot, because I'm better at stand-up, and I'm just going to do my best to, I'd rather trade, but if I have to go to the ground, I've been practicing real hard, so. I didn't know the cage was here until I walked in. I'm stoked. I would have loved to fight in the cage last time. I'm stoked to be in the cage, because when I show up in the finals, that's just that much more experience. Because I lost last time, I don't like losing. It humbled me a little bit, and I've been putting the time in. I still got a long way to go, but I'll just accept every fight they give me, and I'm not going to do anything but go in there and give it 100%, so that's why I think I'm going to win.
Again, Johnny Rich, you can't say enough about that kind of attitude. That's what drives this show. This kid wants to get in here and get in the cage and do his thing. That's great. But Sterling Bulldog Nitsuma has gotten in here and done his thing already. He wants to do a little more of that. At 6'1", 180 pounds, he lists himself as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, but he does it all.
He does it all. Trains it over there with Mushin, with Pedro Sauer, kind of bounces around and gets training from all the different gyms, and he says he's the real deal, and he is going to take this division all the way to the top.
Take this one from me because you're better at it than me. The camera kind of scares me. Last time I was in the ring.
Well, he pretty much dominated, just like I suspect he'll do tonight.
That's one of my good friends. I like to train with him right here. Wearing the assassin shirt because that's my dog.
What is it about Sterling? He can't do his interviews by himself. He needs somebody in there to feed him the words.
I think it's great. I think it's funny. It's original, just like that haircut, man, and that attitude. He's all around a unique kid, Mike.
Who's that kid that was with him, missing those chiclets?
Hey, that was old Brandon the Assassin Kaiser. Got his tooth knocked out in a fight a couple months ago.
Wonder what he wants for Christmas.
His 2 front teeth.
Yeah. Sterling fighting off his heels and backing up just a little bit. Clayton Jackson coming in, and boy, Sterling caught him with a nice right hook, though, that you could tell kind of shook him just a little bit.
Well, Sterling's doing something that I've never. Oh man, and there's another tooth.
Wow, his punch. He's landing some big punches, and right now I don't know what's keeping Clayton up. Well, nothing anymore, but those were some big, solid blows, and I hope Clayton is okay. Somebody get over there and take a look at this kid, because he is really got caught with a shot and looks like he's still kind of wondering where he's at.
Holy cow, the crowd and the people who love this are on their feet after seeing that shot.
Well, it's nice to see Clayton Jackson back on his feet, because it looked like he was going to be out for a while. Did a great job of recuperating. You see here in your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by Mountain High Motorsports. There were some flush landed punches there, then solid punches that really rocked him to his core.
That one right there, that right hook is what sent him to the canvas, and that's one of the better knockouts we've seen in the Ultimate Combat. Sterling Nitsuma lands a sweet right hook to send Clayton Jackson on his back and home with a loss tonight.
Stupidest haircut we've seen, but the sweetest right hook we've seen in quite some time. Sterling Nitsuma, folks, is the real deal. And that's why they call him the Bulldog. That guy knocked more than one person out in this show, and I'm sure we'll maybe see more of him in future episodes. But when we come back, it's what we've all been waiting for. Dr. Sickett, Bryan Yamasaki against Adam Riding. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, it is time to show your main event. Bryan Yamasaki, Dr. Sick, one of my favorite people, not only in fighting, but on this planet. I love this guy, and you'll see the guy's got a lion's heart going up against Adam Riding in your main event. Check it out. Johnny Rich, we've seen a bit of a transformation of sorts with Adam Bomb Riding. You remember back when he used to fight, we used to make fun of him, we'd call him Slim Shady because he thought he was G-Money and all
man,
that.
What's up, man? But
he's a family man now. He's a father and a husband, and really I think has grown up quite a bit.
Well, he is, Mike, and a kid that I like to root for just because of his personality and the way that he'll fight on the drop of a hat, Mike. It doesn't matter. He just wants to get in here and compete. Took a little time off, realized that his place is inside the cage, and I just want to say good luck to you tonight, Adam.
I had a baby, retired, didn't think I needed to do this anymore, got in a tight spot, need some money. These have paid me once, I figure they could pay me again, so let's do it. A wicked fast one, that's what I am, a wicked fast one. I explode when I hit, I don't stop, I just keep on coming, that's why I'm the bomb. You know, I usually come in here pretty arrogant, but with this fighter, I'm not even gonna make a prediction. I got more respect for this guy than I think anybody else in here. Him and Kaiser are some of the coolest guys I ever met, so I'm just gonna go in there and go toes with them, see how it takes me.
Unfortunately for Adam Bomb, his wife agrees with him. He is a wicked fast one.
Oh, my Oh, man. You know what? Bryan Yamasaki, what more can we say about this guy? The leader of the Mushin self-defense team.
The Fighter Corps.
Fighter Corps. I mean, he's all the way around just a competitor, Mike, and he wants to get in here with some of the toughest, and that's why he's in here with Adam Bomb Riding, because Adam Bomb has been known to knock people right out of their shoes.
Well, he's very philosophical in his approach as well, Johnny.
It's mostly a personal challenge for myself. Last time I was here, there was a couple of things that I wish I would have done differently, and it's been gnawing away at me for the last couple of years. And now that I've got things straightened out with my students and the Fighter Corps, I feel like it's time that I can finally iron those out and hopefully tie up those loose ends. Mushin Self-Defense is a school that grew out of the Kalist Academy under Kunkru Wilbernales. We represent the Thai Boxing Association of the United States, Pedro Sauer, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, as well as Combat Submission Wrestling under Sensei Eric Paulson. I think I'm actually a little bit atypical of the average Fighter Corps member. I have a slightly different style. The other guys kind of favor submissions and whatnot, and I love them too, but I don't mind punching and trading knees and elbows and whatnot as well.
Well, Johnny Ritchie, with a pedigree like that, man, you're destined for success.
Yeah, we're destined for it. But you know what? Don't tell that Adam I'm running, because, like he said, he doesn't even care. He's just going to get in here and see what.
Johnny, he said he wanted to fight no matter what tonight. We told him, okay, we got an opponent for you. It's Bryan Yamasaki. He didn't even blink. He said, all right, well, great, let's do it. You know, I mean, he doesn't want to come in here and pick and choose who he fights. He's coming at. Wow, nice shot.
Good shot right there. 2 or 3 in a row, man.
Unbelievable. Who is this kid?
Yamasaki, don't be atypical. You better take this kid to the ground, because he'll land one.
Well, he's got some reach on you, and that's a nice takedown that I never.
And look, transition into an armbar, man. Adam Riding.
Wow, yeah. You know, I mean,
the evolution of Riding. Wow, man, that was great.
Hey, I give it to old Bryan Yamasaki, though. He did a great job of defending that, bringing his hips around and thwarting that arm lock. But yeah, Adam Riding showing some really good stuff in the early goings here. Although you can see Bryan Yamasaki getting his rhythm now.
Yeah. He's stepping into it now. He got rocked a little bit in shock, and we talked about that when you get hit, your game plan goes out the window, but he's just going to sit back and wait. And you know Bryan Yamasaki's going to have some pretty nice kicks.
He just got caught with another shot, though, Johnny.
Adam just chasing him around.
You know, Adam bomb riding, he said he's got a tremendous amount of respect for his opponent here, but he's coming out here and fighting him as though he thinks he should win this fight. That was a big kick, bro.
Big kick, another big kick. Well, he falls on his butt, but you think Adam cares about that?
I think Bryan Yamasaki has found his rhythm and has landed 2 big kicks and now a nice knee and some elbows.
Yeah, wow.
He's really gotten into a rhythm here, and his spacing and distance seems to be right on the money now.
Does seem right on the money. Adam riding, maybe stay back a little bit. Don't chase this kid. If you chase him, that's when you're going to get hit like that.
He got caught with a shot right there, threw a kick, and ate a right hand. Now he's hurt. Oh, and that Johnny Rich's fight's over.
Oh man, maybe not. Dave Sully said.
Dave Sully said with the biggest hit of the night, but looks like Adam bomb riding might be unconscious over there. He got caught with a big-time shot and then followed with a knee. Looks like Bryan Yamasaki's got a little mouse under his eye, but let's take a look, see if Adam Riding's okay.
There he is. He's all right. His eyes are open. He's like, hey, what happened? You know, but you know him. He's gonna. I'm okay. Right there. I'm good. I'm fine.
Like,
man, let me up. Let me
he's
just
the
get
guy
a
with the
smile.
checkerboard shoes there, man. That's what's really killing me here.
Shaking his hand. He's got a lot of respect for Bryan Yamasaki, and I guarantee Bryan Yamasaki has a lot of respect for Adam Riding because, man, Adam really landed some big shots in the beginning.
If he didn't have respect for him before, he does now. I guarantee, seeing the Crush Combat Camp, where this was a lot more exciting fight than a lot of people would have guessed it would be. Adam Riding came out here with nothing but heart and landed some really big shots, but he woke the sleeping giant here. I was going to say sleeping midget, but I got too much respect for Mr. Yamasaki, man.
Well, he's looking to throw those elbows, Mike, and land that big knee, lands another big elbow, right?
This is the beginning of the end right here, and right there, but ding, that knee put Adam bomb Riding into next Tuesday.
Man, send him home with a loss. Adam Riding, don't hang your head. You went against Bryan Dr. Sip Yamasaki, one of the tougher guys around.
Look at this kid. Just look in the eyes of Mr. Yamasaki. This guy is a warrior through and through. Great job tonight. This post-fight interview brought to you by Global Marketing Alliance.
They need motivated sales associates looking to make a 6-figure income.
Call 486-4221. Hey, Tony, keep your finger on the bleep button because Dr. Sick, that was some sick that we saw out there tonight, man.
Thanks, Mike. I'd like to thank a couple people before I get too far here. I got to thank, first of all, my crew. Kunku Will Bernales, he taught me everything I know. I love this guy. He believed in me when no one else did. Took me under his wing, and he's been inspiring me and teaching me since. I gotta say thanks to my brothers and sisters from Mushin, Phil Self-Defense, and the Fighter Corps, Brandon Kaiser, Melissa Kaiser, Dustin, Trevor, Dan, Chad, Karen, Tanya, Eric, everybody out there. I love you guys. We'll see you on Tuesday. And then thank you to you, Mike, and the crew of the UC. And of course, I got to thank my wife, the lovely Amy, and my son, Brom. I also want to make one quick announcement. From where the sun now stands, I shall fight no more forever. I can't think of a better way to go out. I'm an old man. I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to show that the Fighter Corps guys can strike too. I've done it. Now I'm going to concentrate on building up the next generation.
So much to respond to there. First of all, I have a hard time believing that people didn't believe in you. Bryan Yamasaki, Dr. Sick, whatever, I'm just going to call you sir because I got a lot of love and a lot of respect for you, and you came out and you showed exactly what you guys are all about, and, you know, congratulations, great job tonight.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Thanks to Tony, Tino, everybody. I love you guys. Johnny, God bless, bro.
Don't forget Jesus and Buddha and whoever else you want to thank out there.
All of them. Adam Riding, I love you guys.
All right.
You got a lot of heart. Thanks.
I love this guy. Hey, thanks again, Bryan. Thanks for a great performance tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
One of my favorite moments in UCE right there, Bryan Yamasaki getting it done, and then Dave Sully getting it done. Well, we got a lot more knockouts we're pouring through here at the Ultimate Combat Experience, so please join us next week. I'm Mike Stidham. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week on the Ultimate Combat Experience.